It arrived not with a knock on the door, but with the quiet chime of a secured inbox. An email from a prince with nothing left to lose, to the future king who holds his fate in his hands. The subject line alone, sources claim, was enough to make aides in William's office freeze. This wasn't a request. It was a detonation. What you are about to hear is based on urgent reports from within the palace walls. If you want to understand the real battles being fought in the shadows of the crown, you need to be part of this channel. Subscribe to Royal Report 24/7 and hit the bell. Every like and share supports our mission to bring you these stories. Now, let's open that message. According to multiple royal insiders who have spoken to Royal Report 24/7, Prince William, in his capacity as the increasingly powerful heir, received a lengthy and profoundly contentious personal email from his uncle, Prince Andrew, in recent weeks. The content, described by one source as a mix of familial grievance, veiled threat, and desperate negotiation, is said to have landed like a grenade in the heart of the Prince of Wales's private office. The core of Andrew's alleged message? A direct challenge to what he perceives as his effective exile. We are told it was not a humble plea for forgiveness, but a detailed, legalistic, and emotionally charged argument for the restoration of some form of royal status, access, and financial support. Insiders use words like manifesto and ultimatum to describe its tone. Andrew, stripped of his military roles, his HRH style, and his public funding, is reportedly framing his situation not as a consequence of his own actions, but as a collective family betrayal. And he is pointing the finger, most pointedly, at his brother, the king, and his nephew, the future King William. But to understand the explosive nature of this communication, we must step back from the inbox and look at the chessboard. King Charles III executed one of the most decisive moves of his reign: the permanent removal of Andrew as a working royal. It was a surgical strike for the survival of the monarchy. William, we are told from numerous quarters, was not just supportive of this move. He was a key architect of its permanence. William's vision for a streamlined, impeccable, and scandal-free monarchy has no room for the toxic shadow of the York branch. In this future, Andrew is not an asset. He is archived. Andrew's reported email, however, suggests he refuses to be archived. Insiders speculate that the christening appearance we recently covered was, in fact, an opening salvo, a test of the waters. Finding that he did not cause immediate public riots by attending a private event, some analysts believe Andrew may have felt a new, dangerous sense of leverage. The email, therefore, is seen as a push for more. Much more. What could he possibly want? The sources suggest a list, perhaps the return of his police-funded security detail, which costs him millions personally. Perhaps a quietly reinstated grace and favor apartment, as his current lease on Royal Lodge is a point of fierce contention with King Charles, who is said to want him out. But more than anything, it is believed to be about legacy and vindication. Andrew is fighting for a narrative that he is a wronged man shunned by his family, and that this shunning is itself a greater sin than any of the allegations against him. This is where the email becomes a direct challenge to William's authority. William is not yet king, but he operates with a king-in-waiting's gravity. He is the head of the shadow court, the future around which all modernizing forces in the palace now rally. An appeal to William is an appeal over the head of King Charles himself, a deliberate attempt to exploit any perceived generational or strategic divide between father and son. It is a classic and deeply divisive royal tactic. The tension here is historical, personal, and unbearably thick. Think of the parallels and the ruptures. William was exceptionally close to his grandmother, the late Queen. He embodies her sense of quiet, stoic duty. Andrew was, by many accounts, her favorite son, the charming, confident child who could make her laugh. Two men who loved the same matriarch, now on opposite sides of her legacy. One is building a monarchy in her image of service. The other is seen as dismantling its reputation through association. Then, layer in the Sussex factor. From Andrew's reported, embittered perspective, a narrative has festered. Harry and Meghan left, trashed the family, and built a lucrative commercial empire. I stayed, kept quiet, and was stripped of everything. Where's the justice in that? So, how did William respond? Our sources indicate that the Prince of Wales's reaction was characteristically controlled and utterly firm. There was reportedly no emotional reply. Instead, the email is said to have been immediately circulated to a tiny, trusted circle of senior private secretaries and legal advisors. The message in return was clear. This is not a negotiation between nephew and uncle. This is the institution informing an individual of its final decision. This cold, official channel is the greatest punishment of all for a man who trades on his familial status. It renders him a supplicant, not a prince. And according to one well-placed insider, this is what has driven Andrew to a new level of frustration. He feels he is being managed by staffers, the source said, when he believes this is a matter of blood and birthright. The implications of this private war are vast. First, it forces William into a brutally difficult position years before he ascends the throne. He is being tested not by the public, but by his own family on his resolve to be a ruthless modernizer. Every interaction with Andrew sets a precedent for how he will handle future crises as king. Second, it places King Charles in an agonizing bind. As a brother, he may feel a pang of sympathy for Andrew's isolation. As a sovereign, he knows William's hard line is correct for the survival of the crown. This email, by going to William, may have been designed to drive a wedge between them, to force Charles to play the softer, forgiving patriarch against his stern heir. There is no evidence this has worked, but the attempt itself reveals the poisonous dynamics at play. Finally, it signals that Andrew's campaign for rehabilitation is not over. It has simply moved from the court of public opinion to the back channels of family diplomacy and legal threat. The christening was phase 1, a soft return. This email is phase 2, a hard demand. The fear among courtiers, we are told, is what phase 3 might be. A televised interview? A memoir? A legal challenge over his security or residence. The email, in their eyes, is a warning shot across the bow of the monarchy itself. The inbox is closed. The reply has been sent, but the silence that follows is not peaceful. It is the silence of a stalemate where one side has all the power and the other has a growing, volatile sense of injustice. Prince Andrew has sent his message. Prince William has received it. And the future of the House of Windsor just grew a little more complicated and a lot more tense. This is the kind of layered, insider reporting we are committed to at Royal Report 24/7. The story never stops behind the palace gates. If you want to stay ahead of every development, you must subscribe and hit the bell icon. We are building this channel to be your most trusted source. If this report gave you the context the headlines miss, please like this video and share it widely. The next communication could be even more explosive.